Hey guys, what's up? We are back with some more reactions after dark, though. With that first episode, I didn't know what I was going to be calling this, but we are now just going to call this reactions after dark, because that makes sense. Which we are going to be doing Disturbing Things I Found on the Internet, Volume 11 by Lazy Masquerade. Before we Lazy Masquerade, before we get to that, you can probably tell I'm using a different engine for my model today. So it's breathing, it's like moving its hands a bit here and there. So we got some better animations, though that means it needs more horsepower. So hopefully this doesn't screw up the reaction today. Yeah, maybe I should also make like an intro for this series too. Just start making intros for everything. I feel like I probably should do that, but I don't know. I haven't made an intro in a long time because believe it or not, I used to have intros for videos for different series like Horror in July that had its own animated intro that I made. I have not tried to make like a 3D intro though, outside of like the ending soon, starting soon stuff. There's that. I mean, we can like go to the starting soon screen right now just so you can see what I'm talking about. Like this. I made this a long time ago, but this is mainly for like streaming, right? So no point for that. Wait, I don't mean something like that. I mean like a proper actual intro. So I'll think about that. Also, let me know if there's anything you want to see me react to that would be appropriate for this series, I guess. Reactions After Dark, which obviously should be spooky or just messed up, disturbing, etc. Dark, yada yada yada, etc. etc. I mean, I could just react to all this stuff, but I wouldn't put it in this time slot, I guess. And I'm hoping this doesn't screw up, otherwise I'll just have to switch to... Oh, I forgot to change the audio. My bad. Let me do that. I like literally have to select the window every time to like a different one every time I'm going to use like audio for like web browsers and stuff. But there you go, you can hear it now. Women's Alliance XYZ. What do you mean by XYZ? That makes it seem like it's a website, but is that what this is? So we're just going straight into it. There's like no intro or anything, just cold open. But I feel like that's just how these work, right? Because I think did Rallies have a cold open too, right? Or no? I think they do. Bait and switch
Bait
media.
and switch media. Whether you're familiar with the term or not, if you grew up in the golden age of the internet, then chances are you've fallen victim to it more than once.
Is this a title that says one thing and then you click on it and it's snuff? I was talking about videos like that, well, kind of like that, yesterday in the Nick Crowley video.
It's that classic trick of a link, video or website, promising one thing, and then delivering something else entirely. Usually something annoying, disgusting, disturbing.
Or we just talk about, it could easily just be like a Rickroll, right? That's like the classic, just Rickroll.
Or even virus infested. To give some examples,
And there it is, Rickroll. The Never Gonna Give You Up. Now, Jesus Christ, Napoleon Dynamite there too. I want to put it on record that I think this song is like 10 out of 10. So, and I didn't get too many Rickrolls during this era of time. I mean, I did end up getting Rickrolled a few times, but like not enough to hate Rickrolling or the song, because I thought the song was amazing before then, and it's still like still a good song. Can't ruin it for me. It is not just the Rickroll song. It is just a good song. Fight me.
on the lighter end of the spectrum, we're talking things like rickrolling. The next tier up would be those seemingly innocent...
Yeah, this is the jump scare video. You just look at this car and you think it's like a car commercial, and then you get jump scared.
videos and flash games that gave us all our first heart attack.
The Maze
Kofi
game.
commercials, or the Maze game for instance. The next level above that would be the so-called unholy trinity of the internet.
Holy Trinity. Is it
Goatsy, Tub Goal, and Lemon Party.
Okay. I don't know the first two, but Lemon Party sounds familiar. So there's that. I don't think I've watched any of these. Well, maybe like I don't even know what the first two are, so maybe I have. I don't know.
But at the very top of that totem pole of depravity were websites like womensalliance.xyz.
Yeah, like I literally somehow never heard of that since I was in the Wild West era of internet. I was around for that, and I don't remember where this is.
Created in October 2020 by notorious internet sadist.
It's like unnecessary, distorted Mickey Mouse stock footage.
Obok Meat God, womensalliance.xyz disguised itself as a feminist blogging community with a landing page which read as follows. This website contains stories of female empowerment. Some of these stories may upset or offend sensitive users. This site is unsuitable for children. The moment users entered the site, their screens would forcibly switch to full screen mode. What followed was a grotesque video montage of women being tortured, mutilated, injected with various diseases, and literally slaughtered. In some of the most graphic scenes, maggots could be seen crawling out of their orifices, all while Roy Orbison's "Oh Pretty Woman" rang out on full blast in the background, a song no doubt chosen to mock the victims featured in the clips.
Also, by the way, maybe should have had, like Crowley has, like, viewer discretion is advised. Did he have that? I don't know if I remember seeing that at the beginning. Again, if that didn't make you run, viewer discretion is advised. Please.
Any attempt
But is this even real? Is this actual snuff, or is this just fake?
to leave the site would only reset the full screen function, and pressing any key on the keyboard would trigger a fake prompt asking if the user really wanted to leave the site. Clicking OK would result in a barrage of alert boxes containing misogynistic threats backed by high-pitched static. I've even read reports that the site automatically turned each visitor's computer volume up to max, though I'm not actually sure if that's possible for websites to do these days. Still, if it
These days, wasn't this the Wild West that we're talking about?
did, then RIP to all the headphone users, I guess. Though not as popular as Obok's other shock site, Kekma, which honestly could be its own entry in a future video, Women's Alliance.
Yeah, never heard of that website at all, but it would make sense, seeing as though I was just, again, if we're in the Wild West, I was just either a kid or a teenager at this point, so I would not be looking for this stuff. I probably didn't even know that movement existed at that time. I didn't know that was a thing, so I would not have gone to that site.
Alliance.xyz still garnered plenty of traffic through word of mouth, particularly on Discord servers, where morbid pranksters spammed the link and baited many unsuspecting victims. In Obok's words, he created womensalliance.xyz due to the lack of shock sites in the modern internet era.
So it's not modern. So we're saying this is modern and not the Wild West. What year is this then? Like, hello? How can you even do that in modern era?
He's since defended his creation, saying he gave all of his visitors a chance to turn back before clicking enter, and that although he could have infected their devices with malware, he chose not to. Most who fell for his trap are understandably less than forgiving though, given that many of those video clips remain seared into their minds to this day. womensalliance.xyz has since been taken down. Though archive links to it do still exist, I strongly advise you don't go searching for them.
How do you even get those videos anyways? Is it just fake, or is it just actual snuff? And how do you just get away with showing people snuff? Like, hello? Again, I can't believe this was in modern era. Like, what do you mean by modern era? Just post Wild West, or actual like within the last 5 or 10 years?
Trust me, some things are better left unseen.
I don't know if I've seen this animation before. Well, I was gonna say Masquerade. Pay me $1 million to make you an intro, please. Anything. I need that million. Hook me up. I'll make you something.
It was the 16th of January.
Cosmic Intelligence. The University of Cosmic Intelligence.
2022, and family man Hubert Washam had just left his Alabama home to grab a bite to eat. It had been a perfectly normal day up until that point, with Hubert having spent most of it at his 8-mile residence with his family. But no more than 20 minutes after stepping out of his front door, Hubert received a frantic call from his autistic son, Desmond. "Dad, Damien killed Mummy." Hubert's heart immediately sank. Damien was Hubert's younger son, a 23-year-old man who, in recent weeks, had begun acting unusually, ranting about reptilian overlords, preaching about the Egyptian underworld, staring at the sun to absorb its energy, and sending links to his sisters in an attempt to convince them of his newfound beliefs.
Like, shouldn't you be blind if you're just out there staring at the sun for any, like, a decent amount of time? Also, yeah, way too lost in the sauce.
It was then that Hubert remembered an item that Damien had recently purchased.
Really, a Japanese katana.
A samurai sword. In a state of pure panic, Hubert rushed back to the small family home and found his wife of 30 years, Helen Nettles Washam, unresponsive on the floor. There were 19 slashes to her head, neck, and arms. Realizing that she was already gone, Hubert then ran upstairs to check on the rest of his family. His other son, Desmond, had been lacerated, and his brother-in-law, George, was missing half of his face. Both were thankfully still alive.
Okay, well, at least there's that.
And they explained how Damien had attacked them with a katana before fleeing to an abandoned house nearby.
Also, this story, if these, like, markers are accurate, is really long. Like, what is going to happen in this story? You got a guy attacking his family with a katana. Like, where does that go from there?
After the police were alerted to his location, Damien took off in his 2000 Honda Accord, sword in hand, and led deputies on a chase that ended when spike strips immobilized his vehicle.
It was a pair of jeans. Literally a katana. Katana that, if this is the image, was cleaned, because I don't see any blood on that. Don't know what that bottle is. Of green stuff. Is it alcohol?
He was swiftly apprehended and charged with his mother's slaying, but was later found not guilty by reason of insanity.
That's what I figured. Reason of insanity, sure.
Up until that point, Damien had no prior run-ins with the law, and his social media pages showed no signs of him losing his grip on reality. Those who knew him best spoke of how normal and well-adjusted he was. But according to his father, between 4 and 6 weeks before the tragedy unfolded, Damien had fallen down a dark rabbit hole, having apparently been brainwashed by a mysterious online group that he had encountered in a Call of Duty lobby.
Call of Duty? What year is this? Brainwashed by Call of Duty? What? Not to, like, 4chan or Reddit or something. But really, Call of Duty? I feel that's what people would normally say is like 4chan or Reddit or something. Granted, I don't actually use Reddit. I don't know if I've even been on 4chan before. I think maybe I have, but I just don't use it. The only time ever I'm on Reddit is if I'm pretty sure everyone will give you this answer, is if I type in a question that I need an answer to, and then for some reason it just happens to be answered on Reddit, and I was like, okay, I'll click on whatever seems to have the answer, and if it just happens to be Reddit, it just happens to be Reddit, but otherwise, I don't go to Reddit. I don't have an account on Reddit, I don't think, even. Maybe I do, but like if I'm on Reddit, it's just because it just has a question being answered.
He had started listening to some crazy group of people, like a cult or something, Hubert told the media. We'd never had any problems out of him, and then all of a sudden, he started acting paranoid. A year and a half before Damien took his mother's life,
University of Cosmic Intelligence, peace to the gods and the goddesses.
A channel.
We had 2 Ouroboroses on there, right? The snaky Natesail, or Yomergander, if you want to say Yomergander, but I'm pretty sure it's Ouroboros. And then a bunch of chakra stuff, I think. How many chakras is there? 9? That's 1, 2, 3 throat there counts. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's 9, right? 9 chakras. So this is putting everything. You have like the chakras, you got Ouroboros, you got that thing on the left here. Well, you can see my mouse. This thing.
Called the University of Cosmic Intelligence began uploading videos to YouTube.
Like maybe those stars have some sort of importance as well.
The man behind the account was Rashad Jamal White, an Atlanta-based rapper with convictions for battery, strangulation, and suffocation. He had also previously been charged in connection with a murder, but wasn't convicted. By late 2020, Rashad had turned over a new leaf and decided that rather than take from society, he was going to give back to it. And what he had to offer was his godly wisdom. Going by his New Age name, Divine Insight, the self-proclaimed prophet used his platform to wax lyrical about mysticism and conspiracy theories, warning his followers of government plots to control them.
I want to see that. Aliens are real. Science fiction is real. Reality is fake. Okay, so everything that is not real is real, and reality is not real. Sure, got it. What did we say?
And conspiracy theories, warning his followers of government plots to control them.
I mean, we don't have to assume aliens aren't real. That's fine. What was the other thing? Aliens real? Sure, of course they're real. Depending on how you want to describe it, sure. There's probably bacteria on some planets out there. That's an alien life form. So immediately there, and there probably is other sentient life because it just isn't. It doesn't make sense for there not to be, right? So that's not even. You're not even saying anything profound when you say aliens are real, right? It just depends on like what you're trying to say with aliens being real. Are they on the planet right now? Are they are just somewhere nearby, etc., etc. Science fiction is real is too vague. Obviously, you can't just be vague like that. So that's just nothing. Reality is fake. Again, that's too vague. Is it simulation? Is it, I don't know, X, Y, or Z?
And conspiracy theories, warning his followers of government plots to control them. Among other things, Rashad alleges that NBA players are synthetic robots, that rainbows are stargates to alternate dimensions.
What? NBA players are robots, right? Rainbows are stargates. Sure.
That human bodies are avatars injected with nanobot technology at birth.
How are you an avatar, which would assume you're fake, but then also injected with nanobots? I mean, we eventually probably will be injected with nanobots, because like, why wouldn't we do that to make ourselves like either healthy or some form of immortality if it gets to that point? But like, avatar and nanobots at the same time?
That birds are actually drones used.
Okay, yeah, the birds are drones thing that's been going around. This one's silly, but I mean, it's funny. The birds are drones one is funny. What is with that face? Okay, I had to like break the model out of that. I don't know what it was doing.
Used to spy on citizens.
Yeah.
That the Mississippi River is actually the Nile. That ancient Egyptian
What?
gods were actually aliens who once walked the earth. That the sun is the source of all human energy, and that clouds are government tools used to block its power, keeping people weak and obedient. The crux of Rashad's
Roll it back. I didn't hear that one.
block its power. The sun is the source of all human energy, and that clouds are government tools used to block its power.
Clouds are used to block the sun.
Keeping people weak and obedient. The crux of Rashad's philosophy, however, hinges on race. Specifically, that Caucasians are shape-shifting reptilians, while Black and Latino people are spiritually enlightened gods and goddesses chosen by divine forces.
Sure.
In the past, he's preached about how their blue-skinned ancestors had once wielded immense spiritual power, before, quote, losing their frequency and being subjugated. Despite being as convincing as a Zuckerberg smile, the teachings of cosmic intelligence struck a chord with many people, particularly the disenfranchised, marginalized, and frankly gullible. With so many people in the modern era lacking a sense of meaning and purpose in life, Rashad was able to amass a worryingly large fanbase, with over 200,000 people subscribing to his YouTube channel.
Oh, he had a YouTube channel. Actually, 200. I mean, that's pretty understandable for like YouTube conspiracy stuff. People like to flock to that kind of stuff. I'm not surprised that it had so many people following it.
100.
Also, we've been going on a rant for a while for this guy. We're not even talking about the guy who murdered his mother with a katana and mutilated his brothers. Where's he going off on this guy? So where is this going to lead us?
50,000 to his TikTok, and 105,000 to his Instagram page. Visiting the group's website, Rashad claims to have founded his online university to enlighten and illuminate the minds of carbonated beings. But if we look a little deeper...
Carbonated? Can you use carbonated like that? I mean, carbon-based life forms? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that what you're trying to say? Not carbonated beings? Hello. Carbonated. Oof. Carbon-based life forms. There you
beneath
go.
the surface.
That's the word you're looking for, buddy, not carbonated.
It becomes quite apparent that cosmic intelligence is just like every other cult. In other words, a get-rich-quick scheme masquerading as a spiritual movement. The guru's most arcane knowledge is predictably locked behind a paywall. If you want access...
Why specifically 333 and 33 cents? Why is it such a specific number like that? I assume it has some sort of significance to it, but I don't know what significance that number has. I actually don't know.
Access to Rashad's daily live lectures, for example, then you'll need to purchase one of his university's very reasonably priced subscription packages. But why waste your time with the gold and blue packages when you could go straight to Violet? As he's keen to tell you, it's the best seller, the cheapest package, and a money saver. For the low price of $333.33, you not only get a year's access to live lectures, but also unlock all sorts of exciting goodies, like a 9% coupon off Rashad's merch store.
Oof, 9%. And where do you even get all this stuff? Just buy gems and statues and necklaces in bulk? I saw like arrowhead, obsidian. I don't know if it actually
and
was
a money
that.
saver. For the low price of $333.33.
There it is. I don't know.
3 cents.
Obsidian, yeah, it is an obsidian raw chuck. I'm pretty sure I have one of these lying around somewhere. Because you could get like arrowheads out of like obsidian as a kid. Because I live in like Texas. $100? I didn't pay $100. I got that as a child, so you best believe I didn't spend $100 on a piece of obsidian.
You not only get a year's access to live lectures, but also unlock all sorts of exciting goodies, like a 9% coupon.
What is that? Labradorite, polished stone, sphere. Yeah, they're just taking like basic gemstones you can get like at the local, I don't know, gem store, spiritual store, witch store, whatever you want to call it, for like, I don't know, pennies, dollars. I don't know how much that stuff costs now because I haven't been to one of those stores in a long time. But it's almost $500. Things people will spend money on.
Off Rashad's merch store. After all, who...
Amethyst large bracelet. I mean, it's cool to have these gemstoned things, but not for $150. Just go to the freaking local gem store, buy a handful of amethyst, which probably won't be that much, and just punch a hole through all of them, and then string some string through it, and then make a bracelet. There you go. Probably cost you, I don't know, way less than this.
Who wouldn't want to buy one of these amazing artifacts?
Of that hunk of amethyst for like 300. Oof.
Especially with such an attractive refund.
All sales are final. Allow 3 to 9 weeks for your order to arrive. Due to high demand, product can take between 3 to 9 weeks to arrive. Okay, you just said the exact same thing twice. When it comes to crystal order, if products, okay, I was like, I'm looking for mistakes. When it comes to crystal orders, comma, if your products arrives, okay, misspelling there too. If your product arrives broke or defunct It is not our fault. Should have been a comma in there somewhere as well. Our fault, period. Crystals are very fragile, and this is the risk you take when ordering it. Yeah, okay, so let's just like bad grammar here for an official store, I feel like. Not that I have any high knowledge on grammar. I'm not the grammar police. I don't have a degree in the English language, but I feel like I do understand the English language enough to understand that there are a lot of mistakes in this on an official post, an official policy on your professional website.
Policy.
If this was some random person on the internet, random sentence on the internet, I wouldn't care.
Despite being an obvious scam, the University of Cosmic Intelligence's subscribe account has.
Okay, this B-roll here, the stock footage, who destroyed this dollar bill? That better be 3D, and not just someone destroyed this dollar bill and pumped some yellow gas through it. Hello? Can we not destroy money?
Has continued to grow.
Or will that actually help? We destroy a lot of money? Does money have more value? Because, like, obviously, it gains more value the less of it there is, so I don't know.
Rashad's followers aren't simply fans, though. Many are disciples, devout believers who refer to him as God and spend thousands of dollars to finance his lifestyle. For example, prior to slaying his mother, Damien Washam had reportedly spent $5,000 on crystals from his merch store.
Oof.
But just as his popularity and bank balance began to skyrocket, Rashad was arrested yet again. This time for SAing the child of his
What?
ex-girlfriend.
Okay, just escalate the story to 11 out of nowhere. Okay, prison, dead, bye.
Darshell Smith. He was convicted in 2023, and a Georgia judge handed him an 18-year prison sentence with an additional 22 years probation.
Only 18?
For some, this marked the end of their faith in him, but for others, it only cemented their loyalty.
How?
An online petition titled Justice for Rashad Jamal quickly gathered thousands of signatures, with his followers stating that the legal case against him was a deliberate effort to suppress his spiritual power. Two members who signed the petition were Yasmin Hyder and Crystal Pinkins.
Couple of women, probably in love with him. Maybe. That's like a story as old as time.
An unlikely duo who had met through cosmic intelligence.
I'm just making stuff up there, but if the story turns that way, I feel like that's pretty normal, right? Especially for someone in jail. They love him, try to get him out of jail, etc. Always visiting him in jail. Also, why does a model freak out? I guess because I put my hand too close to my face. Again, this VNAND doesn't really work too well with my computer. One, because it's like literally ancient, and two, my camera's like not good, and is also ancient.
Prior to becoming members, Yasmin, then 20, was a former college student in Oklahoma, and Crystal, 36, a certified health aide in Tennessee. Both came from tight-knit families who described them as ordinary and well-adjusted women. That is, before they began engaging with cosmic intelligence posts on social media sites. By August 2022, the pair had seemingly abandoned their past lives and took to traveling around the country together, living off-grid in makeshift campsites as per Rashad's teachings, free from government surveillance and isolated from their support networks. On August 14th of that same year, the duo found themselves completely out of money, having given most of what they had to Rashad. But that mattered not, for as he had taught them, the laws of the US don't apply to them, and so they could simply take whatever they wanted. As such, Yasmin and Crystal formulated a plan, one that would have dire consequences.
Also, this is just like spiraling. We started with some guy murdering his mother and, again, lacerating his other family members, mutilating them, which linked up to the main cause of him going crazy from reading this other guy's information, getting deep into this guy's occult. This guy ends up in jail from doing some messed up stuff, which then rose into talking about two other women who did some messed up stuff because they were part of his cult too. It's just like, how many people are going to do messed up stuff because of this one cult this guy made? Oh my god, the face. It loves freaking out. Okay, there we go.
That afternoon, Michaela Paulus and her boyfriend Adam Simji, both students at the University of Central Florida, were driving through Talladega National Forest, a final getaway before the start of the fall semester. As they made their way along a particularly quiet stretch of road, they came upon a young woman, flagging them down for assistance. That woman was Yasmin Hyder. Posing as a stranded motorist, Yasmin asked the young couple for help jump-starting her vehicle. Adam and Michaela decided to be good Samaritans and spent an hour trying to get Yasmin's car started.
How much are these two even going to have on them to be taken by these two?
Searching for YouTube tutorials and even calling Adam's mechanic father to figure out a possible solution. After checking the coast was clear, Yasmin pulled a firearm on the unsuspecting couple and demanded that they hand over their keys, cell phones, and bank cards. Not wanting any trouble, Michaela and Adam complied, but when Yasmin ordered them to walk into the woods, it became disturbingly apparent that they were about to be executed. In an effort to protect his girlfriend.
Also, the assumption that they knew it was apparent implies that at least one of them got away to tell the story. Or somehow, someone knew, since you can't just make an assumption of what they thought unless one of them got away or these two realized that they knew what was going to happen.
Adam drew his concealed firearm and
Oh.
fired 4 shots at Yasmin.
Oh. But did that kill her or not?
Hitting her 3 times in the chest.
I mean, 3 to the chest.
And once in the leg. Yasmin returned fire, hitting Adam
Hold on, roll that back.
times in the chest. Adam drew that they were about to be executed. In an effort to protect his girlfriend, Adam drew his concealed firearm and fired 4 shots at Yasmin.
Okay. 3 to the chest, 1 in the leg, and she still was able to shoot back? Unless, I guess, maybe the first one hit the leg, which then gave her time to shoot back, and then he shot 3 into the chest, so there's mutual assured destruction.
Hitting her 3
Which is not
times in the
good.
chest and once in the leg. Yasmin returned fire, hitting Adam once in the back.
In the back? She running away at that point?
Michaela was a nursing student, and she desperately tried to save Adam, while Yasmin called out to her accomplice, Crystal, who'd been watching everything from the tree line. But rather than help, Crystal abandoned her comrade and fled deeper into the woods.
I'm guessing she didn't have any weaponry, it was just the one. And 3 to the chest, like, where did she get hit? To still be alive, not only alive, but to fire back and to still be calling for help after it's all done.
Adam lived for another 20 minutes after being hit. Unfortunately, it took paramedics 30 minutes to arrive at the scene, by which point Adam had succumbed to his wound. Another life lost to members of cosmic intelligence. Yasmin, on the other hand, survived the ordeal and was quick to give up her traitorous accomplice, Crystal.
Again, like, 3 to the chest where? Were you gonna explain that? He had, like, the opening shot and then got 4 off. Again, 3 to the chest. Where did they hit?
The authorities later found the 36-year-old
In this program, keeps freaking out.
hiding at a nearby base camp where she and Yasmin had been living in tents. Crystal's 5-year-old child emerged from one of them, armed with a loaded shotgun.
Wait, roll this back a bit, please. What is going on?
Of cosmic intelligence. Yasmin, on the other
Yeah,
hand,
she got to
survived
live.
the ordeal and was quick to give up her traitorous accomplice, Crystal. The authorities later found the 36-year-old hiding at a nearby base camp where she and Yasmin had been living in tents. Crystal's 5-year-old child emerged from one of them.
5. Barely has any sort of sentience at this point. Like, the sentience might have kicked in, but possibly not.
Armed with a loaded shotgun.
Like, which is crazy. Like, possibly doesn't even have sentience yet and is wielding a shotgun.
Thankfully, the authorities were able to disarm the boy without further incident. While searching the area for evidence, officers encountered several more tents that belonged to other members of Cosmic Intelligence. After making a full recovery, Yasmin Hyder took a plea deal and received a 35-year sentence for ending Adam's life.
35. Yeah, it's still a long time, but she's 20-something, so she's still going to have some life to live afterwards. And she's probably going to get probation and even more than that, or like it's going to be even less than that, so.
In exchange, she testified against her co-conspirator, Crystal Pinkins. Despite not pulling the trigger herself, Crystal was determined to have been the mastermind behind the plot and was given a life sentence.
I mean, got more in trouble basically for being a traitor, but I mean, the one who actually killed the guy should have still gotten it worse, but I mean, I guess that's what you get. Like, she brought this one in so she gets off easy, even though she killed the guy.
Despite Cosmic Intelligence now being linked to 2 slayings, there was nothing that directly implicated its leader, Rashad, and as such, he faced no further legal charges. And even with its leader behind bars, the University of Cosmic Intelligence continues to live on, with old clips and new jailhouse recordings being posted to the group's YouTube channel, uploaded by one of Rashad's disciples. Reading through some of the top comments, it's clear that he still has a zealous, growing fanbase. The internet has dramatically expanded the reach and influence of cults, making it easier than ever for them to attract and recruit new followers, especially when a growing number of people are now terminally online and yet desperate for connection.
I was like, is this about to roll into like a VPN ad?
Through social media platforms, forums, and websites, prophets like Rashad can quickly disseminate their message to a global audience, often targeting vulnerable individuals seeking community or purpose. Algorithms that promote echo chambers only amplify their influence, and those who fall prey to the teachings of these influencer gurus often don't realize the dangers they're putting themselves in. In August 2023, at least 6 members of Cosmic Intelligence disappeared from St. Louis. They haven't been...
How many of these cosmics are going to be committing crime? Can we not commit crime? Please? Can we stop with the crime?
been seen or heard from since.
Okay, I knew. 3D video that I haven't seen before. Little bumper between. Oh, I was like, what is this thing? n/internet mystery.
Well,
I'm guessing that's a Reddit, right?
browsing the Internet Mysteries subreddit, I stumbled upon a post asking about a suspicious TikTok account, one whose owner has uploaded hundreds of bizarre videos over the span of a year and a half. Looking through them, you'll quickly notice some recurring themes: Buddhist iconography, photos of anonymous women, and ball-joint dolls arranged in strange positions.
Why is it blurred if it's just a doll?
All of the videos are backed by surreal, avant-garde music created by the account owner himself. But the most concerning thing to be found on the account are undoubtedly clips like these.
It seems like this is some sort of voyeurism, right? Or like peeking into someone's house.
In which the
I feel like if there's no way you let someone get this close to you, I feel like your sixth sense would kick in at this point. Unless that just gets weaker and weaker as you get older. Because I feel like the sixth sense was pretty strong when I was a young child. If you know what I'm talking about, just being able to feel someone's presence even though you can't see them. Like if they're behind you, you can just feel that they're behind you. That's what I mean by sixth sense. I feel like you should be able to feel that this guy's behind you. If not, just like the shadow being casted into the house.
The account holder films unsuspecting women through their windows, either while their backs are turned or while they're asleep.
They're moving a lot. So I feel like they could be talking to somebody, so there's not someone just in front of them.
Reddit had a field day with this one, drawing comparisons between this account and Mr. Sleepy People, the ex-
I know this one, but that one, again, when I saw the eyeball, like he knew what he was doing with this eyeball,
with this one, drawing comparisons.
this eyeball B-roll, the stock image. Assuming this is stock image and not just Mr. Sleepy People. Because isn't that one the one that licks eyeballs? Like he videotapes people sleeping or girls sleeping, but then also licking their eyes, like their eyeballs.
Comparisons between this account and Mr. Sleepy People, the ex-YouTuber who went around licking the eyeballs of sleeping, or more likely sedated, friends and acquaintances. Many people do seem to get a kick out of filming unconscious people without their knowledge or consent, and then sharing their video creations for other somnophiles to enjoy, and this account was certainly attracting some strange followers. Others have brought up the possibility of this being an elaborate ARG, or, more worryingly, the video diary of a wannabe serial killer.
Sure, I mean, just like a conspiracy is a conspiracy. This is going on for a while, so this probably is something, right? He's not going to talk about it for that long and it not actually be something, right?
Indeed, many of the videos are captioned with ominous messages, like, "need to kill." However, you'll notice I haven't given out the name of the account holder, and that's because I personally don't think there's any mystery to solve here. I'm confident that the man behind the account is mentally unwell, and that the women featured are friends and relatives.
Like, you can't just make the assumption like that. Well, second one, sure, but like just making the assumption that he's mentally unwell.
Using subtle clues found in some of the videos, Reddit user Horseballs1998 was able to pinpoint the.
Well, there were some videos where he filmed outside his window. You can see a sign to a university building. I don't want to dox him and tell the exact place, but you can figure it out easily from this video. As for the senior housing, I just googled his address and looked at a listing for an apartment in that building. You might need to know some Finnish for this if you want to research, I don't know, if Google Translate is accurate. As to why he's doing this, my guess is Alzheimer's or some sort of disability.
The exact building that the account holder lives in. An apartment complex on the outskirts of Tampere, Finland, designed for seniors aged 63 and up. There were some videos where he films outside his window. You can see a sign to a university building. I don't want to dox him and say the exact place.
He's just reading what I just was
for an
reading.
Apartment in that building. You might need to know some.
This
Why he's doing this. My guess is Alzheimer's or some sort of disability. Perhaps inspired by this discussion on Reddit, another user made a post on r/internet mysteries about a similar YouTube account. One which, in my opinion, is far more sinister. Ramad Yunus Alfian. On October 3rd of this year, user NoPay2356 posted the following.
Are you gonna read this?
Weird YouTube channel filming sleeping women through door. Her face is covered for some reason. On this channel there are multiple strange videos and shorts showing a woman sleeping, and even another person laying next to her in one video. The man seems to be filming through the keyhole of the door, and it seems like the woman is sensing his presence.
Okay, so how are you filming through a keyhole? How big is this keyhole? I know we have like looking through the keyhole stuff in like media, right? In like video games and stuff. But like, can you even look through? Like, what kind of keyhole are we talking about to be able to look through it in modern day? That's what I'm saying. Also, Sixth Sense. I said the woman can sense his presence. Sixth Sense is kicked in, which makes the other video weird. Like, she should be able to know that he's there. She should sense that he's there, unless she knows that he's there, and it's fine.
Considering her disturbed sleep and the fact that she wakes up multiple times. If anyone can find further information about this man, and possibly inform local authorities, I would greatly appreciate it. As detailed by NoPay.
Roll that back. Edit. I think you should not report this channel, because YouTube likely won't do anything regarding legal action, and this will just hinder people in finding further information. I have already made a report to Cyber Tip Line. Not sure if this is a minor, but just in case.
I would greatly appreciate it. As detailed by NoPay, Ramad Yunus Alfian is an Indonesian YouTuber with several POV videos on his channel, ones in which he secretly films a sleeping couple in the dead of night. Whether Ahmad knows the subjects or not is unclear, though the title of this particular video, Takan Kabul, translates to pervert in English, so it's safe to say that Ramad is well aware what he's doing is wrong. Even more worrying is that he's posted other videos of this same household to his account, which appear to have been filmed on separate nights, meaning he's repeatedly targeted this same couple on multiple occasions. In this instance, I think the connection to Mr. Sleepy People is far more apt, given that Ramad's account definitely revolves around somnophilia, an attraction to the unconscious. While it's unclear what drives this desire, it likely stems from a feeling of control or power over a vulnerable person. In response to these videos, the Reddit community quickly mobilized to track Ramad down.
Okay, we gotta roll back. We've gone like on a huge tangent. So we went from the one guy who allegedly could have mental issues to this guy now.
Looking through some of his other videos, which include his work van.
Like, he's doing a lot of that this episode, of just like creating a story and then bouncing to another story and then bouncing to another story in the same segments. I haven't watched one of these in a long time. I don't remember if that's how this usually plays out.
Reddit user Kofi was able to narrow down that search. Based on his other videos, I think he lives in Medan, North Sumatra, and he works as a locksmith. I tried to track down the phone number, and it belongs to someone named Martin, maybe his boss. It also reveals the address of his workplace. I'll see if I can report it to the authorities, but since I live on a different island, the best I can do is submit the information to the Cybercrime Police Department. Although, knowing the Indonesian police, they probably won't take this case seriously. Indeed, it's likely that Ramad knows he won't face any serious consequences, seeing how he's left his phone number in several video titles.
Why would he do that? He's leaving his number. Also, do we know that this isn't just his house?
Unfortunately, the internet has given rise to a growing trend of people exploiting the sleeping, unsuspecting, and vulnerable.
Masquerade. What does this stock video have to do with what we're talking about right now? This half-naked man with his mask on? What does this have to do with anything? Huh?
Non-consensual voyeurs have found a home online, where people with these disturbing inclinations can find communities that normalize their behavior. In the past, individuals with such urges would have likely kept them hidden, fearing judgment or ostracism. Now, online forums and networks allow them to connect anonymously with one another, offering them shadowy spaces to trade videos and further validate their actions, to the point where some don't even bother to hide their identities at all. And with such people out there, I can say one thing with certainty. I'll be keeping my curtains tightly closed at night from now on.
The notification bell? I'm guessing that's what it's supposed to signify. Click the notification bell. We're not done with the video yet, though. New segments. Konami's Thrill Drive. What? Konami? We're talking about money for a second? What? Something I actually know about? I don't know what this is, though, but Konami I know very well. As someone who plays Yu-Gi-Oh!
In recent years, an old video game has been the subject of a lot of online attention, but not because of any sense of renewed nostalgia, but rather because of some resurfaced childhood trauma.
Trauma?
Forum users across the net began discussing memories of an old arcade racer that no longer seemed to exist, one which they described as a cross between a racing sim and
what does it say? Surreal Drive, I think, is what that says on the bottom. Because it's Suriru Drive, so I'm guessing that says Surreal Drive.
Silent Hill.
Even though they're calling it Thrill Drive, that literally is, I'm pretty sure, the word surreal and the word drive, because they're using their language to write English itself. It's not actually Japanese, it's English being written in Japanese.
Where the whole ambience just felt off in a way that was hard to put into words. That game being Thrill Drive.
Thrill Drive.
If you've never heard of it, don't worry, you're far from alone.
I'm guessing maybe if they translated to English, they changed it to uh, Thrill Drive in the English translation. I'm just making sure, yeah, that isn't Thrill. It's not Thrill.
Despite being one of the main inspirations for the Burnout series, Thrill Drive has since fallen into obscurity. Developed by Konami and published in 1998, Thrill Drive never made it to consoles, and as a result, isn't well known outside of Japan. In fact, according to the Konami wiki, all Thrill Drive arcade cabinets have since disappeared, and the game is believed to be lost. Well, at least in the wild. As its name implies, Thrill Drive was set on public roads around the world, and saw players racing through busy cities, avoiding civilians and oncoming traffic to reach the finish line. The less damage they racked up along the way, the more they would be rewarded at the end. The game was set across 3 stages, was said to grade players based on their reflexes, style and courage, and at first glance appeared to be your typical light-hearted racing fare a la the Cruisin' series. That is, except for the horror elements.
Yeah, so we do have like English translations. It's translated to Thrill Drive. I wonder why they went like just literally translated to Surreal Drive, since they already are using English for the name of the Japanese version of the game. So why change it to a different English word when you're already using English to begin with?
And we're not talking supernatural, spooky.
Granted, if you want to like slur surreal, suriru, really fast, like you could argue that sounds like thrill. So there's also that. I don't know what would they use to create the th sound at the beginning of a word. So maybe it is Thrill Drive.
Spooky horror, but rather unsettling, realistic horror. According to the Konami wiki, Thrill Drive came with 2 settings, mild and hard. This affected both the animations and on-screen text following a collision. Each cabinet was set to hard by default, so should the player crash, they'd be met with something like this. A jarring scream would suddenly ring out, along with the face of the driver, milliseconds before impact. Ambulance sirens would blare, and the player character would either slump dead in their seat or be tossed through their windshield, depending on the severity of the crash. A slow-motion replay would show the carnage unfolding, with the text, collision, serious accident, or fatal accident, filling.
Okay, that's nothing crazy, at least for like modern day. I guess back then that was like pretty brutal, question mark? We have Mortal Kombat at this point?
The screen. Adding to the morbid.
Pretty sure it did, because that was on, this clearly is like PlayStation 1 era, and Mortal Kombat was on Super Nintendo.
With each crash, the race would reset, but the atmosphere would be slightly different each time, devolving from fun to morose.
I guess this is more, surreal, as the name implies, so it's more down to earth than something like Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat can be like too uncanny because it's so unreal, but this is literally surreal.
To downright haunting. The colors would become less vibrant, the clouds more oppressive, and the music would shift from your typical racing soundtrack to something ripped straight from a horror movie. No doubt many unsuspecting kids inserted their coins into the cabinet, perhaps expecting to play something similar to Crazy Taxi, but left feeling like they'd purchased a front row ticket to a road safety PSA. And we all know how creepy those can be. But here's the thing. Given that Thrill Drive was no longer available to play, and that all the descriptions of it sounded more like a creepypasta than an actual arcade game, many people who had never played it in their youth began to question whether this supposedly lost piece of physical media was actually unfiction.
Unfiction? Unfiction. That's weird. What do you mean by unfiction? Do you mean non-fiction? As in not fake? As in it's real? Question mark? Also, let me cut here and check something out. Right, I threw Suriru into Google Translate, and it translated it to thrill, so I guess maybe that's just that's the only way they could figure out how to spell thrill in Japanese and katakana. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not surreal. Even though literally, it's just literally su-real-ru. So I was like, oof. I mean, I guess maybe it's just thrill. Maybe I'm crazy. I guess it was just thrill all along.
an obscure ARG designed to draw people in and creep them out. It wouldn't be the first time that game footage was used in such a project. That 90s PS1 N64 style is particularly common in unfiction projects, given that it's much easier
Oh, unfiction? You just mean like ARG then?
to replicate compared to modern graphics, and many games from that era had a, well, uncanny aura, let's put it like that. For example, Sagan Hawks recently dropped a video about his search for a creepy 90s dinosaur game. It's a fun, immersive watch, a true love letter to unfiction projects, but crucially, it proves that with enough dedication and talent, creative people can produce convincing gameplay footage to accompany their narratives. So, despite a few MAME-emulated runs of Thrill Drive existing online, many people aware of the game's supposed existence began to
That car just clipped through the other car.
question whether they were fake too, created by people playing an elaborate hoax on the gaming community. Indeed, it was so hard to track down that even those who had played it began to question themselves. Could this be an example of a collective false memory? Perhaps a new example of the Mandela effect? Well, those concerns were put to rest 2 months ago,
The actual arcade cabinet.
when user IllHedgehog made this post on the r/creepygaming subreddit.
Unless, again, massive devotion, and they just made this arcade cabinet from hand. Or this is a 3D model that's rendered amazingly well.
So this is a bit of a historical curiosity, and a game I hadn't heard of until I discovered it last week in the deserted kids club at an off-season golf resort in Australia. Why is it creepy? Thrill Drive is a racing game from 1998 that sets you out on the busy streets with civilian traffic and pedestrians, asks you to push the limits, and lets you see the consequences of your actions. If you crash too hard, your car is obliterated in ways that leave little to the imagination. The screen goes black, and bold red letters spell out lethal accident. Gran Turismo, this is not. But it's also not Grand Theft Auto, being goreless and actively discouraging bloodshed. It's somehow much more stressful despite its lack of blood, taking every injury really seriously, and counting up the cost of damage you cause in a sort of reverse high score mechanic. This might make it sound like a kind of scoldy road safety ad, but it's not. It's actually super creepy. This is largely due to an interesting Silent Hill vibe, where each time you crash fatally, the screen fades to black, and then you get to restart.
I was not thinking about Silent Hill when I was looking at those videos.
But the weather has become grimmer and darker. It's somber and eerie, and it gets worse each time.
I guess yeah, it did look overcast, I guess.
Eventually, the whole world is a grey murk, with occasional lightning flashes. It's heavy. Interestingly, the Blue Mountains where I found this cabinet are also famous, or notorious, for their misty, cloudy, and eerie weather. Playing this, and then walking out into the multiple-day whiteout added an extra dimension to the experience, as did the many crows and magpies in the area. The cabinet art gives you a really good sense of what to expect, vibes-wise. In terms of racing, I think it holds up. The handling is approachable, and makes driving fun, even for non-racing people like me. I wanted to keep playing even after I spent $20 on credits, and I'm a responsible adult. According to the Konami wiki, these are believed to be lost in the wild, so I thought I'd post it here in case anyone has questions about it. If you're ever at Fairmount Resort in the Blue Mountains, don't pass up the chance to give it a go, especially if the clouds are low, and the mist is deep and thick.
Yeah, the machine looks real. I don't think this is a 3D model. So it probably is a real thing. But again, if we want to keep going on conspiracies, guy could have just made this from scratch. Just has a hobby for making arcade cabinets and just made this to go along with the spooky things. Because obviously they just wrote out that massive spooky on purpose paragraph on Reddit? Question mark?
So, there we have it. Thrill Drive is confirmed to be both real and still available to play in the outside world. Not exactly the darkest thing I've ever covered on this channel, but a fun little discovery nonetheless.
Well, I mean, this video in a whole is like less dark than Crowley's video yesterday. We got very cooled down from yesterday, which was just like oof, just like messed up after super messed up after super messed up, and then it eventually started to like started to cool down itself, but still was pretty dark. This one seems to be pretty okay. Though didn't they open up with, I don't know, with the first thing being like pretty oof, I think. What was this one about? Oh yeah, the Woman Alliance thing, that's snuff stuff. Just out of nowhere.
On which, amidst all the grey and gloom of the game itself, gives many lost media enthusiasts hope. In Earl Hedgehog's words, it actually made me really happy, just knowing there must be so many other presumed lost games out there.
Yep, model's freaking out, but again, let me cut that out. Alright, hopefully there it should be fixed. I just can't really see them because my mic's in the way. Searching for Uncanny Danny.
This is Danny. Say hi, Danny.
Yeah, it's uncanny. It's someone's real face, though. I mean, they just have big lips, and obviously they've painted black above and below their eyes.
If you've sent or received a GIF in the past couple of months, you've probably seen her face pop up on your mobile device. Thing is, she only appeared recently, and yet seems to have paid everyone a welcome, or perhaps unwelcome visit.
Literally, I've never seen this person in my life. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I've not seen this anywhere.
In a short space of time, leaving many people wondering, who is this woman in these GIFs? Where do they come from? And why are they suddenly everywhere?
Yeah, she's like white makeup. She just happens to naturally have a big mouth. She has black contacts in, and the top and bottoms of her eyes are painted black, and her nostrils are painted black as well.
Let's try and get to the bottom of this one. The main tool used to find and share GIFs is Giphy, the second largest search engine in the world,
Which I've never used in my life.
in terms of total searches. It's what you use to find GIFs on WhatsApp,
Haven't used Giphy, haven't used WhatsApp.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
I mean, Instagram, sure. I guess that's where Instagram pulls them from, but I don't know if I've used a GIF on Instagram. Maybe I have. Maybe Discord uses Giphy, then sure, but like I've never gone to Giphy, the website.
Facebook, and all the other main social networks really. So that's probably the best place to start our investigation. Heading over to Giphy.com, we can see that our mysterious friend
It's Spanish for some reason.
is officially called Uncanny Danny, a fitting name. We can also see that her GIFs have racked up an impressive 1.8 billion views, confirming that she's not just being shared around
Well, some of them are in Spanish, these are in English.
by a small subculture of horror enthusiasts. Danny is indeed everywhere. Aside from that, there's little else to go on here.
I see just all these random Spanish ones thrown in there.
No links to her creators, no explanation
It's-
about the purpose of the GIFs themselves,
Just English and Spanish made it seem like she's Spanish to begin with.
no
Mexican.
information on why they were made, no backstory to the character, nothing really. So I dug a little deeper. I wanted to know how it was possible for a character with no known origin to consistently appear at the top of GIF searches. To figure that out, we need to know how Giphy's algorithm works. According to riseat7.com, when you upload a GIF to Giphy, you can add up to 10 hashtags to help people find it. Choosing relevant and commonly used tags will, logically, help your creation reach more people. GIFs with words typically rank higher than those without. It's clear that Danny's creator knew how to play the game, attaching her to commonly searched phrases in both English and Spanish. But simple searches like "go to sleep" and "I miss you" or
Well, Go to Sleep is Jeff the Killer. Lingo, right? Jeff the Killer is a creepypasta. One of the most infamous creepypastas. At this point, no offense, I think Jeff the Killer is pretty lame. When I first read it like a million years ago, I was like, ooh, this is spooky. But then, like, that instantly just goes away. And it's just like, wow, this guy is really lame because he's that really cringe kind of edge. But people are in love with this guy.
already have thousands of GIFs, and many more ordinary ones to choose from at that. The uncanny valley is something that appeals to me, and given the nature of this channel, probably most of you too, and we'd probably all send these as some sort of dark joke and see the funny side. But in my experience, the average person doesn't appreciate things like this. So why did Danny suddenly dominate in such oversaturated search markets when her competition was already well established, and frankly, far more normal? The mystery surrounding these gifts has given rise to rumour and conspiracy. The more cynical believe that Danny's a marketing tool, a way to drum up interest for an upcoming TV show or movie. A quick Google search of Uncanny Danny did lead me to this gentleman, Danny Robbins, an English broadcaster who has a paranormal investigation show called Uncanny. The name links up, and his hair is kind of similar to our Danny's, sure, though aside from that, there isn't much connecting the two.
I really feel there's nothing there.
He's male, she's female, and none of the gifs reference his show in any way. Other people have started giving Danny the creepypasta treatment, labelling her gifs as cursed images and optic hazards. Once you've set eyes on Danny, she'll come pay you a good night visit in the near future. Well, a good 20% of the world is already doomed then. You lot included. Sorry guys. Finally, there are those who say that Danny is just a cool art project that caught on precisely because it's different, fun, and a little spooky.
Again, it's literally just that they put go to sleep in the hashtags, which is just Jeff the Killer. Which is like one of the highest, not the highest, one of the top creepypastas of all time. Literally just play in the creepypasta game. It's not like that it's a creepypasta, that they're using creepypasta to boost this up. If anybody are out there searching Jeff the Killer memes on this GIF thing.
And having looked into her origin, I thankfully can confirm that to be the case. While chasing leads, I came across this Instagram post by Miss Gory FX. Somehow the Uncanny Danny section of Giphy has 1.5 billion views. I guess the uncertainty and the purgatory of the stale, unsettling backrooms is feeling oddly relevant. Model at Perry Human. Senior art / creative director at Parker S. Jackson. Hair and makeup artist at Miss Gory FX. Special thanks to the Giphy crew for bringing me on board for this one. Would you follow Danny into the backrooms?
Also, why are we talking about the backrooms just out of nowhere? So we're just saying that she's in the backrooms as well. So not only do we have Jeff the Killer referenced, we also have backrooms referenced in one, like double combo. They try to get this up in the algorithm. But once again, I have never seen this woman in my life. So this is new to me. If people have been seeing this thing.
Eureka. This one post, made by the shoot's hair and makeup artist, gave us all of the information we've been searching for. The model playing our favourite backrooms entity is Laura Drummerick, aka Very Human, an actor and creative performer who's been in some interesting projects. The GIFs were commissioned by Giphy themselves and directed by California-based artist Parker S. Jackson. Checking out Mr. Jackson's Instagram page, I was pleasantly surprised to find some mind-blowing, blood-curdling artwork that he's created. Everything here is just such a treat. I'm particularly fond of old Egbert here. Looking a bit deeper into Parker S. Jackson's work history, we can see that he was a concept artist for Jordan Peele's movie Nope, was the co-creator of the Found Footage Art Collective, and currently works as creative director at Giphy Studios.
Okay, well, it's just an inside job. Still haven't seen Nope. Nope is the one with the... Well, I'm not going to say it. If you haven't seen Nope and you want to see Nope, and you somehow don't know what Nope's about, it's just... You know... Can't say it. Haven't seen Nope. Haven't seen Nope. Haven't seen... What is the other one? Get Out? Is that what it's called? I haven't seen Get Out either. If I'm thinking that's one of his movies too. Haven't seen it. That's just because I don't have 50 million streaming services. I mean, to be fair, I have 0 now, currently. So how can I watch any of these movies if I don't have the 1 million different services that you need to find these movies at? I don't even know where Nope is right now. Like HBO, Netflix, Amazon, it could be anywhere. So, oof.
And that explains why the GIF was able to become so popular so quickly. So, Danny was the brainchild of a creative mind, and we can definitely say that her origin has been found.
I don't think that I did not miss what that bird was doing onto that one picture with the book. I did see it. We're just moving past it.
And still, her sudden prevalence has been a fun little anomaly, and it's nice seeing all the myths and backstories people have been sharing around about Danny's sudden infamy. And now that we know she's from the backrooms, hopefully we can get some more official, or maybe even unofficial lore. And if not, well, I'm sure many of us will be seeing Danny in our dreams later anyway.
They kind of just like took, again, creepypasta stuff. Go to sleep phrase from Jeff, like I said. Back rooms as well. Just took two popular things and I was like, oh yeah, let's just throw some white powder on her face. Some black lines above and below her eyes. Paint her nostrils black as well. Get her like a bad wig, assuming that's not her hair, and then they call it a day. Is that it? We might be going into like credits. Masquerade, hello. Okay, there we go.
Why, hello again, Lazy Legion. It has been a while, hasn't it?
Lazy Legion? That is what he's calling them now? We got the credits after this, so that was okay. Again, like, this was very much more tame, question mark, than what we had seen yesterday with Nick Crowley, of course. Then we're going to be going back and forth and not keep up with me right now. I was gonna let that roll in the back, but it actually does kill the model having this on, so I just cut there just to get the model back working again. But yeah, I will be like pinging back and forth between Crowley and probably Lazy Masquerade, or if there's any suggestions, probably between that as well. Because I don't know what else to do between that. We're gonna eventually run out of videos because these guys make like one video every five years, so I'm gonna run out of them soon. Like maybe like around a month, probably like less than a month, even like a couple weeks even. If I keep doing one a day, we'll be out of videos within like a couple weeks. Getting the Amazing Digital Circus is still up for grabs, assuming I don't get in trouble. Because again, I still think they got bought out by HBO or something. Thus, I feel like reacting to it is risky. I'm not trying to get another strike anytime soon or ever again. We could do some SCP stuff, but I would have to find like SCP stuff to actually react to, because I've seen like a lot of Jesus Christ, SCP stuff in the past, so I've seen all the good stuff, right? So I don't know what else could be seen. I need some good like indie movies of like SCP stuff, like SCP is it 096? Is that Shy Guy? That movie, just all the movies from that guy specifically, because he has other ones too, right? I forget what they're called, because they're just called a name, not like a number. But those SCP movies that probably everyone has seen at this point. What else? Or maybe I can get Rayleigh on for the Jesus Christ, this face. I'm literally not moving. How did it break again? I'm literally standing still. I couldn't be standing any stiller. But yeah, maybe I could get Rayleigh to join for the SCP movies, because I don't think she's seen, at least not 096 yet. I think. Because I talked to her about that like a couple of years ago, and she hadn't seen it. So maybe we could get her on here to watch that. I doubt it, but that's something, because I've already seen all those. But maybe the guy's made a new movie and I don't know about it. Then I could check that out. But yeah, if you got any suggestions, let me know. I don't know if Wendigoon has anything to check out, or if there's any like analog horror that I've not seen. We could throw that into the bunch, because I've seen the Mandela Effect, obviously, or is it not the Mandela Effect? The Mandela Catalog. I know a little bit of the Godzilla one. I watched the Backrooms stuff from the one kid. Then what is his next thing that he made after the Backrooms? I do know that the models in like a silly face right now, but I'm just gonna leave it like that because it looks funny, and I'm tired of trying to get the camera to focus in on me. What is it called? The Last View? Something like that was his other one. I've seen that. Uh, the boiled one, whatever his name is. I've seen that. I've seen a lot of analog horror. So if you have any analog horror stuff that I haven't seen, then let me know. We also have like the channeled based ones. I forgot their name, but there's a couple of the channel ones I've seen. Any like the popular ones I've seen. So yeah, you got any analog horror stuff to tell me about? Any channels like this? Maybe like decent true crime stuff, or I might even just watch like police videos. Not police videos, but like I don't know what you would call them. Just like videos like Cops. Like if you know like the show Cops, I don't know if that's still on TV. I feel like they probably got rid of it, but like Cops, where you just like watch police go around busting people. You do that. I used to watch Cops as a kid, growing up. Kind of just like that trash TV Cops, Jerry Springer, that kind of stuff. I'm not watching Jerry Springer stuff, by the way. I don't mean that. I just mean I watched that kind of stuff as a kid because it was on TV and it's just trash TV. My parents watched it. I liked watching it. But yeah, again, any dark stuff you got, let me know. Otherwise, we're just going to be doing Nick Crowley and Lazy Masquerade for a while. Maybe Digital Circus, maybe SCP stuff, maybe analog horror stuff if I find anything. And then also maybe Nuke's Top 5, Nuke's Top whatever. Like, watch some dumb ghost videos that aren't real. Cryptid stuff, love cryptids. Got cryptids, let me know, etc., etc. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Remember to buy my stickers and think about becoming a member. Or subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We're going to watch time and subscribers. And don't forget we have a throw now as well. And shout out to the members, EmmyStarr and RaleyDrew. Thank you guys, thanks for watching. Tune into the next episode. Like, subscribe, comment. Know the do. See ya.